Hey everybody, we made it to another Wednesday night. It's great to see everybody. Hope everybody's having a good week. This is part 4 of Tara. We went a long way. We had a lot of manifestation, but we stuck with the program. So here we are sort of in the home stretch. So what I'm going to do is see if I can go ahead and start this chat. But first, as in every week, I have to go ahead and authorize that. It's just going to be a very quick moment. Let's see. I'm going to put in my email address. Those of us in the United States, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I hope everything was a lot of fun. You ate a lot of turkey, lots of family. One more step. And then I'll be able to see you guys on chat. So I'm just authenticating that, waiting for that to go through. Sometimes it's a little more difficult on YouTube for live streams, but the first couple of minutes are always a work in progress. Let's see, here we are. Great, so I see Wendy is here. Wendy, how are you? Good to see you. I hope you had a great week. I really love those tiles you've been doing. Wendy's been doing stuff with India Ink and alcohol, right? And you guys have to see it. It's really fantastic. And that's what I really want you guys to do, is experiment with inks and the airbrush and waters, alcohol, different things. Just have fun, and that's when the magic happens. So just make sure that we have sound. The sound is pretty good. Let me check the different microphones. This one, sound should be okay. And then here we should have sound. Let me double check in the beginning. Yes, we have sound here, so everything is good. So pretty cool. All right, so oh yeah, so Wendy says don't use alcohol unless you want it removed. That is very good advice, because it sort of activates it. Hey Norm, how you doing? Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. Did you have a good Thanksgiving, my friend? And so I'm getting my, now I'm getting my erasers ready. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start going in with some real dark colors, and then utilize some of this white pastel to do some magical things. So as you see here, I want to show you guys what I've been doing. Over the course of the last couple of days, I've been doing a lot of airbrushing. So what I did, you can't save these for long, but you can save them for maybe 24 to 48 hours before they get a little weird. So here are the ratios. 3 to 3, ink first, then water. Then 4 to 3, 18 to 9, and 24 to 9. So you see, this is pretty much where you want to start out. Your 3 drops of India ink to 3 full eyedroppers of water. This is the second stage. You start enriching some of those darks, you know, not getting too committed yet. This is when you really start hitting those dark areas and playing with the shadows. Making sure you don't eliminate all the wonderful translucency you put here. And 24 to 9 is pretty much your darkest dark, which is actually 24 drops of India ink with 9 full eyedroppers of water. So that's pretty much you know, the best route to go. Okay, so I saved it, and then hey Kiva, how you doing? Good to see you. Kiva's doing some amazing paintings. She's doing something like, what is it, like 9 paintings in like 3 days or something like that. It's just unreal how much incredible work you're doing. I think that's amazing. I just blows my mind that I don't I don't have that in the tank. Hey, Kingston, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. So we're doing our part 4. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Part 4 of Tara from The Walking Dead. So that's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to sharing this with you guys. All right, so now what we're probably going to do is probably start working with this 18 to 9, and then we're going to start using some of that white pastel pretty early going tonight. See if we could start bringing her portrait to life. So it's always an adventure. You know, that's for sure. Always an adventure. So let me go ahead and load up my trusty Sotar Slim. So I'm going to take my 18 to 9. We're going to use that right now. Make sure it's really, this is from last night, so make sure that it's really well mixed. Great. Okay, so I have my airbrush loaded. Now, we always want to have a spare piece of paper. Jake, how you doing? Jake just got himself a new Sotar this week, so he says he really loves it. How are you liking it so far? Did you get to work with it today? Okay, so as you can see, I always test the airbrush. Whenever you load the airbrush, you always want to do your first couple of sprays on the test. Never, because you never know how any airbrush is going to work with those initial sprays. It could be an air pocket where you press down, nothing happens, and then all of a sudden, psh, that would be bad. And it has been bad with me, so at times. So learn from my mistakes, guys, definitely. So Jake has the, now which Sotar do you have, Jake? So what I'm going to do is, as Jake is talking about his new airbrush, we are going to just go ahead and start working in some of these really rich darks. And over here, we're going to come in with some paintbrush techniques and do some of these sort of errant tears over there, which is really going to help with the character of this portrait today. So, wow, so Jake says he's in heaven. He has the original Sotar, which is a beautiful airbrush. It has that little cup on top, right? Is that it? So yes, I love that airbrush. I haven't had the pleasure of using it yet, and actually he likes it better than the Iwata Eclipse, which is exciting. So he says much better. Wendy, but if you have an Eclipse, you have an incredible airbrush. So it's not like, you know, it's always okay to expand your repertoire, so to speak. You know, believe me, your other airbrushes will definitely be a need. So don't feel bad, that's for sure. And part of being an airbrush artist is collecting airbrushes, am I right? I know Norm can attest to that, right? That's for sure. So Norm, how many airbrushes do you own right now? So Jake says, he calls his Sotar Black Betty Bam. That is really funny. That is too much. Thanks for sharing your experience with us, Jake. I really appreciate that. Makes me want to go ahead and get the original Sotar as well. Add that to my repertoire. Hey, Super Killer, how's it going? Good to see ya. So glad you stopped by to say hello, man. Say hello and talk about airbrushes. And Norm has 3. So, Super Killer, how many airbrushes you own? So Norm says, just put the Sotar on the list and Santa will take care of it. That's what I'm talking about. Too funny. Very funny. That's right. You know, that's for sure. You know, make sure we let Ken know how we are actually doing some, you know, some incredible things with his airbrushes. He should know that. That is definite. That's our influence as artists, that we use the products out there and create great artwork. That's what we want to do. Yes, that Casey loves Sotar, which is definitely, you know, when I get a few bucks in my pocket, that's going to happen. That's for sure. So certain. Super Killer, you own 25 airbrushes? That's impressive. You're a hero of mine, man. But Super Killer, you've been painting for an airbrush for a while, right? So how long have you been airbrushing, my friend? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to crack open our rigger brush. This is the Winsor & Newton Cotman, and it is the 333 rigger brush. Very good. This is a fantastic brush for working, doing portraits and detail, even nudes. You really will do well with this brush. And the link's in the description field of this video and all of my videos with these live streams. So definitely go out and get yourself one. Hit that link and you will get the same price as if you didn't hit that link, but I get a small commission so I can put that back into the channel, buy better cameras, all that's good stuff. Avery's World, which is Colin. How you doing, man? How's life out there in Canada? So what we're going to do is we're going to get a little piece of paper here and just going to cover my hand because there's oils on my hand. Even if I didn't eat fried chicken or whatever, there would still be oils on my hand, just natural, you know. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to just make sure her hair is not just this, looks like a helmet. We want to make sure that's not happening. Doing some, you know, how the hairs come, you know, not perfect. I don't care how, you know, how perfect or how much time we spend on our hair, right? There's always going to be some hairs going in different directions, doing their own thing. There we go. So you see that, just making things a little more interesting, a little more realistic, that's for sure. So, thank you. So Avery's World says, awesome work, Tim. Oh, it's good. It's not too good out there, huh? Snowing. Oh, things are good there, but snowy, but good. Okay, as long as you're in the house, you're fine, right? You know, it's just if you have to drive in it, that's the only thing I worry about. And Super Killer says, well, I collect, but I discard any that don't make me happy. That you know, that's, yeah, well, definitely. If it's a pain in the neck, right, they got to go. As far as your airbrush is going, being able to load multiple brushes as you move back and forth between colors is a time saver. Yes, that's true. When you're working in color, it's good to have that. I always say have that. For me, at the least, when I'm working in color, have that 2 airbrush system going on. But several airbrushes, that's fantastic. And let's see. So Wendy says she agrees with Super Killer. Easy to change brushes and to clean out and reload a cup. Yeah, definitely, definitely. You know what brush I have, which I should like take it out next week, is I have that Pache Turbo, but I've never used it. That really weird looking airbrush. It's supposed to be really incredible for detail, but I should break that out, right? And just, you know, play with it and show you guys and show myself what it can do. I just have to get a hose connect for that. That's the only thing. Jake says, Tim, have I ever tried a piece of sticky tape, placed it on a drawing, and drew on top of the sticky tape to create realistic texture fast? Like a piece of tape can make... That's interesting. No, I haven't. Wow, that's definitely something I want to see in action. So one great thing about Mr. Jake is that he is a great experimenter of technique. Just does some incredible stuff. You got to see it. He is very open-minded and like a sponge, man. He just collects pieces of gold from different artists. So I really admire that, Jacob. Really, really admire that. That's what we have to do, right? We have to absorb as much as we can from different artists, throw away what we don't want, and then what we want, we go ahead and keep it, and then it becomes assimilated to our own style. That's what we all do over the years, right? No matter how long you've been painting, you know, it's just something that is just part of your style. And you know, you see like, wow, I took this from this teacher and I took that from this teacher, just little bits here and there. And then the parts you don't like, you're like, nah, that's not going to be what I'm going to be doing. And it's all good, right? Definitely. So that's something I was saying earlier, is that we all have our strengths, right? And so what I want to hear from you guys, now, it's not being conceited, this is, you know, it's what your strengths are. So I want to know from you guys, what is your strengths in painting or drawing that you think is that is uniquely yours? I want to hear it. And I don't want you guys to hold back. Now for me, ever since I was a kid, now I'm going to start you off. For me, ever since I was a kid, getting character in my portraits, to just get emotion. Everyone says that when I do a portrait, I get emotion. I feel the person that I'm painting. And that is my strength. And that's what I bring to the table, and that's what I always make sure that I emphasize, because it's been my strength since a little kid. So let's hear yours. And Jake says, grayscale, color is his weakness, need to be better at it. Jake, you are right where you need to be. You got that grayscale down. Color is not that hard. Heath, how you doing? Good to see you. Today we're talking about our strengths as artists. You know, what we feel that we bring to the table that is uniquely ours, and that, you know, no one can teach. You were sort of born with it. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. So yeah, definitely, Jake, I think your grayscales are phenomenal. And just keep going. Emphasize those grayscales. Emphasize those values, you know. Pick paintings that have, you know, pick references that really show off your strength. And, you know, work on your color, as you say, but man, you know, that's exactly what I'm saying. Just work on your strengths, guys. That's what I'm doing. I'm working on my strengths. My weakness, I'm going to tell you my weakness. My weakness has always been backgrounds. It's always been something I never really concentrated on in the past when I studied at the National Academy and the Art Students League, the High School of Art and Design. I should have done landscapes and I didn't. And you know what? And that's something that I work on today. I work on getting stronger. One of the things that I do when I want to get stronger at something is I find old masters who are doing what I'm weak at, that is their strength. So now I'm looking at these incredible landscape painters. My favorite landscape is George Inness. George Inness was a landscape painter in the 1850s. Ironic enough, he went to the same art school I did. We both studied in the same, actually in the same gallery, not the same gallery, the same studios at the National Academy School of Fine Arts and the Art Students League. I don't know if he was at the Art Students League. I know definitely that he studied at the National Academy School of Fine Arts as I did. So he's had some good advice. Never say can't, just do. As I've only been, wow, so Heath has only been painting for a year and a half and he's not sure of either my strengths or weaknesses. You know what? You are just amazing in a year and a half. That's like really, you're kicking butt, you know? I don't want to get demonetized. I can't say the ASS word, but you are kicking butt, my friend. So way to go. And I think your strengths and weaknesses will show themselves. And I think you know, things that might be a little bit more difficult, things that might come a little easier, it just happens, and you'll experience that. Wendy, what was some of your strengths and weaknesses? What comes easy to you, Wendy, and what is a little more difficult? I'd love to hear what you have to say. And you know, I think it's great to so look at that. Jacob is about the same amount of time as Heath. You guys are just incredible, just amazing what you guys are doing. I just applaud you in a year and a half. Wow, that's great. So keep it up. There's no telling what you guys can accomplish in a couple of years' time. I'm scared. So Wendy says drawing has always been easy, but she tends to try things without testing first and spend most of the time correcting it. You know what? It's good to fail forward, right? You know, I'm listening to Will Smith's motivational speeches, and he says fail forward. You know, you get up and you keep going, and it's okay. Like he says, just do. So, you know, don't wait until you experiment. If you feel it, just go ahead and do it. I do a lot of tests, yes, definitely. But there are some times where, you know, I just get this inspiration and I just go straight into it, you know, just right into it. So it's no biggie. So let's see. So as you can see, I'm doing a lot of paintbrushing technique right now. And because you know what? Frogs leap from lily pad to lily pad a lot better than a fish does. Fish swim a lot better. Airbrushes work really well with value and doing large shapes, but for little tight details like this, the paintbrush does much better. So we definitely want to use the strengths where there are strengths, and you know, we don't want to force something to do a job it wasn't meant to do. So that's pretty much why I always stay open-minded and use whatever tool possible. Okay, so let's see here. Wendy says she knows alcohol and India ink don't mix. No, but that's the beauty of it, right? Oh, but you did it. You did have that one time, right, where uh, you just tried it, and was it? It was for your sunflower painting, wasn't it? That you tried that. Uh, and he says to Jake, keep moving forward. Would like to see some of your work. Yeah, you got to see some of his work. I'm going to be fixing the Ink Flingers Facebook page. I'm having a little trouble finding out how you guys can post. For some reason, you guys post is not showing up, and that's kind of not the reason. That's not the reason why I even started it. The Ink Flingers on Facebook. It's for you guys to post and to see your work and during the week and get pumped. That's what it's all about. Yeah. Oh, okay. You did acrylic on the sunflower, never any ink. Okay. All right. Cool. Wow. So yeah, but keep experimenting. That's when magic happens. So Kiva says Jake is working on Pennywise, and it's yeah, that is really doing well. I really love it. Very scary, as the clown is scary. Super Killer says he knows alcohol and airbrushing don't mix. The lines get blurry, and he tries to fight the portrait. Yeah. So Wendy says she started in pastel today just to enter in a contest. We'll finish it tonight, doing it on cardstock. So just playing. That is the perfect thing, and we should be saying that for every painting. Just playing, because that's what it is. I mean, just like every other kid, we started creating and painting. We just never stopped. That's what's the difference between us and a lot of people, guys. We just never stopped. He says, excited about the Facebook page, looking forward to seeing everyone's work. Definitely. I might have to do some changes on it, but I'm definitely going to have your emails. I'm going to email you, and you guys are going to be the first to know is when you guys can all start. Yeah, this is going to be a really great Facebook group, just like here where we can hang out and talk during the week. Maybe updates, maybe, so I'm looking forward to that. If anyone's doing any India Ink live streams, we can definitely let each other know about that too. So that would be fantastic. And so let's see. Kiva, like 9 paintings since Monday. Wow. That is amazing, Kiva. Kiva says it's not by choice that many just not the amount isn't by choice. It's that she has all those Christmas orders. Ho ho ho, man! Way to go! You rake in that money. That's all that matters. They're paying you, so you go ahead, make that money, and buy yourself an incredible sotar. That's what I'm thinking. Get a couple of sotars because they're really inexpensive. As you can see, I'm always moving around, guys. Always, always. That's the important thing about this technique is moving around. Keep it going. So, guys, I want to tell you that on my lunch breaks, where I work, there is not a break room. So I'm taking my laptop and I'm in my car and I'm editing my first video that I'm going to be offering full length, about 3 hours. This is interesting. It's of the nude I was doing, and I want to show you real quick of what we've been working on. Yes, that Casey Love, that looks like an incredible airbrush, that's for sure. So guys, just a quick note, this painting that I did a while ago, let me just adjust the... So this painting that I did a while ago, about a week ago, I actually videotaped the whole thing. And so I did a step-by-step. It's on Masonite. I'm using Frisket film. I go over how to do sequential masking and, with the India ink to create this very very acrylic looking painting, but still with the India ink you get a lot of beautiful, fine, delicate transitions, but I don't think is as possible with the Createx. So I think this is going to be a really great video. So I've been editing that in my car, on my laptop. So that's pretty exciting. So Kiva says, yes, I work at a regular job and paint full time. Well, it's like I'm a painter, right? So I'm gonna do that regardless of anything that's going on in my life. And so if anything suffers, it's the job, or it's the, unfortunately, that's where I am right now, especially pushing to be successful, pushing to grow this channel so I can reach and help a lot of people and be a resource to those, an affordable resource. So that's my goal. So it's a grind, it's a push, and I also have to maintain my own artwork, right? So that is the caveat. I'm doing my own artwork. I have to have a job to pay the bills, but I also have to grow with my blog and also do great things with you guys. So it's all about my community and our community and pushing this to the next level. I'm actually going to upgrade the live streams. I got some really great surprises for you guys for 2019. You guys are going to be part of it. It's going to be very exciting. Some as far as technical stuff, some groundbreaking things. So it's going to be great. And Wendy says, Tim, did you do a video on that painting? Yes, I did. So the video was on that nude, and it's going to be step by step. Basically every step that I did. So it's going to be some really nice fades and titles and close-ups. Just doing a video that I would like to see. And a video that I would like to see is not out there yet. It's going to be with this. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So it's like I'm creating these videos because I didn't see anyone paint videos that were as in-depth as what I see or what I envision. So it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys. Thank you. So Wendy says that she admires that I work, have a regular job, and do this video and artwork. But remember, the artwork comes first, so the regular job has to fit into the artwork, not the other way around. So it's not like, oh, I have a job and I have to paint around it. No, the job has to go around my painting schedule. So it's about priorities, right? And that's what we have to do. And Jake says Kiva was always fast. I think she's even faster now. I just think she's like grease lightning. She's amazing. What do you guys think of speed? Can you guys turn it on? Kiva says, I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much, Kiva. I appreciate that. And also Kiva says that she loves the lighting on the painting. Is that this painting, or are we talking about Jake's painting? Because Jake's painting is incredible with the lighting. Now you're going to see right now that her likeness is starting to come together, which makes me happy. And the likeness is very important, don't get me wrong. And I am very, I do want a likeness, but most important is getting down the lights and darks and the edges and all that. And then the likeness usually takes care of itself, guys. Honestly, I really can't stress that enough. Work on the likeness, work on the large shapes. Just tell yourself that the likeness is going to come together. Okay, so let's see. So Jake has the coolest planet scenes, Wendy says. Oh, yes, Jake does. Really, he does. And oh, the one with the legs. Thank you, Kiva. Yeah, that's what struck me, that pose was the chiaroscuro, right? The I like paintings that if you're at a gallery and they sort of grab you from 40 feet away, and that's what I really want to do. I want those paintings to really just carry from across the room, knock the other paintings that are on the wall next to it down, and that's what I look to do in my work. I look to do it when I go to the Met or any other museum. When I see a painting that just pulls me in from across the room, that is success for that artist, I feel. Oh, I love those really intricate paintings where you have to go close and look, but there's something special about those ones who just sort of come and get you. Hey, Bradley, good to see you. Willie, how are you? So glad you guys are here. So glad you guys made it. So we're just doing part 5 of Tara, just getting things to that next level of finish. So what we're going to do is we're going to start working on some of the highlights in the hair real quickly, not spending too much time on it. So I have my mono eraser, and here's another mono eraser that I always show you. It's the chisel one. That right there. So both of them work really great. So I'm so glad Wendy, I'm not Wendy, I'm always glad Wendy's here, but I'm so glad that Bradley and Willie made it. So that's cool. Always glad that Wendy is here. That goes without saying. Wendy's the best. Wendy, I love your enthusiasm, and you make me enthusiastic about art. And so you are just always a source of inspiration and positivity. So just always great to have you aboard. I just want to let you know that. So we're just gonna. So we have a nice. Let me lighten this up a bit. There we go. So we have a nice dark here where we can take. Yes, Wendy is amazing. I agree 100%, Jake. Wendy is amazing, as all you guys are. And Willie says, wouldn't miss it. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It means I'm doing something right where great people like you will take time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me. So I appreciate that. So what do you guys think of the one? So you can see that, you know, now we have a nice dark here, which we used with our ratio of 18 to 9, 18 drops of India ink to 9 full eyedroppers now of water. So we definitely didn't get there right away. We just sort of gradually, as you know, through parts 1 and 3, we slowly built that up, not oversaturating the surface. And you know, we don't want to do every hair, right? We just want to indicate the hair. You know, if we look at the works of Rembrandt and Caravaggio, he didn't go crazy with every hair. No, you know, they just artfully put in hairs in groups, and then maybe some individual hairs here and there. Sometimes you can say a lot more with less, right? Willie says, Tim, you couldn't do a live stream without Wendy? That's true. Well, no, it just wouldn't be the same without Wendy, that's all. Actually, it wouldn't be the same without any of you guys. But yeah, Wendy is, she's always so helpful. She puts down my you know, when I talk about my email address, she always types that in. She's just great. You guys are all great, and you know, who's here is who meant to be here, right? So That's the way I look at it. I have a very small group here, very small YouTube channel. And a lot of times, you know, people will say, oh, you know, but you have such a small YouTube channel, you're not successful. You know, it's not, you know, you look at some of the other Lockery Fine Art, they're doing these amazing things. They have so many subscribers and they're making X amount of money. But I look at it this way. Here we are now, right? We're small, but there are so many advantages right now for it to be small. We all get to know each other. We all get to talk, and also we do have a strong community. And I think that could only happen with a small channel. If things got too big too fast, I think we would lose out. And I don't want that. And who's here is meant to be here, and that's great. Jake well, Jake says that Lockery annoys the heck out of him. You know, it's everyone's trying their best, right? That's the only thing I could say. And I know she has a lot of following and all those people, you know, who really love her. And so she's been at it a long time, a lot longer than me. So I admire that. Bradley says, kind of spooked me the other day with the state of the YouTube channel. Though you were going to say you were oh, thanks, Bradley. So Bradley kind of thought I was going to quit the YouTube channel. So I did a quick video on Saturday after I taught a class, just on the state of my YouTube channel, if you guys haven't seen it, of what I plan on doing for 2019. So unfortunately, Bradley, it sounded like I was going to quit. And I'm not letting you guys down. No way. You know, we come this far, right, Bradley? We're going all the way. We are going all the way. We are going to, you know, do some great things, you know, with that Facebook, Ink Flingers Facebook, which is going to happen. But right now, it's sort of in its infancy. I have to figure out how you guys can post. I don't want you guys to have to be approved. I want you guys able to be posting artwork whenever you're inspired, and everyone can comment on that. That's important during the week. So when we get here on Wednesday night, we have a lot to talk about. Not just what I'm doing, but what you guys are doing as well. So that's important. Yeah, so Bradley says that's right. And oh, Willie thought the same thing. Oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't. It wasn't clickbait at all, you know. It was just I just wanted to share with you guys my plans, our plans for this channel. So sorry it came off that way. Yeah, that would really stink. So oh man, no, I'm not going anywhere, guys. I'm gonna continue hanging with you guys. And if this channel stays small, because the people who are here are meant to be here. So I'm not worried, and it doesn't matter if we stay small. We are gonna stay every Wednesday night, and you know, God willing, every Wednesday night we'll continue to grow as painters, and you know, go into color with India Ink, which is going to be very exciting. Really explore that together. Do some live streams, and I think you guys be able to put in your input. I'll learn from you. You'll learn from me. Learn from each other. It will be fantastic. So I have that 18 to 9, pretty dark, that I'm working with now. When you're working dark, guys, be careful. Working with a darker mixture of India ink, you have little wiggle room. You put in that dark, it's too dark, it's just going to stain. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are going to be just the darker accents. We're not going into her face with this dark. The darkest you want to go into details such as the face would be 4 to 3, or even stick to 3 to 3 or 3 to 4. So I'm thinking now that I might think rethink the initial airbrushing when we start the portrait would be 3 eyedroppers of ink to 4 full eyedroppers of water. It's a little lighter, but it does give you more wiggle room to start the painting, you know. And Wendy says that she still wants it to grow. Me too, Wendy, I do. But I'm sure everyone is enjoying it here. Yeah, and she loves everybody, and we all love you, Wendy. And he says, looking forward to color. That could be a weakness of mine. You know, I'm right there with you. You know, a little bit the color. You know, we get really comfortable with the black and white, and that could happen. So we definitely want to, you know, break free our comfort zone. Continue doing our strengths, right? And that's important. We continue doing our strengths, but force ourselves out of our comfort zone. That's what we're going to do coming up. So it's going to be really fantastic. So I do these for my collector. This is a male nude that I did. Now, with this, I started out with 3 to 4. So we were talking 3 drops of India ink to 4 full eyedroppers of water. And we were able to start these really, really subtle tones here, right? Then I went to 3 to 3, went a little darker. Then I went to 4 to 3, 4 eyedroppers of India ink to 3 drops of water. Notice that the ink is going up, the water is staying the same. And then we had the 18 to 9, and then we went all the way to 24 to 9. So that's how we had this full, really full values, but we didn't go straight in with darks, right? So he says he jumped right into color and have yet to do black and white. That's amazing. That is amazing. Wendy likes the painting of that guy. And Kiva loves it. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. I can't believe, Wendy, I can't believe that that he has not done black and white. That's amazing. So yes, Wendy, it's drops to eyedroppers always. So 1 drop of India ink, full eyedroppers of the 3-inch eyedropper, like this guy right here. So, and you know, and always revisit my videos. I always go over it. Shoot me an email. You guys have a question, don't guess about it. If you have a question, you email me, and you guys know I get back to you. So you guys have a technical question, I'm always here for you, that's for sure. Not just on the live stream, during the week. You email me, I'm going to get right back to you. Or, you know, you guys who are also Facebook friends, go ahead and shoot me an IM. I'll take care of you. So we have some nice darks happening. We established some lights of the hair, maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to come back in with some Blackbeard wheat. I found some Blackbeard wheat in a closet. I think it was on Sunday. This stuff, I mean, a lot of Blackbeard wheat, so I'm set for a while. So this is great to do, spray through and get that hair, which is really great. He says, maybe next one, going to finish my sunrise, and then Rebecca Mader full color, then try a black and white. Wow, exciting. So that's really good. You're going to love black and white because you're not dealing with the other aspects of color, such as hue, saturation, chroma, all that stuff. You're just dealing with value. But more importantly, and I think you really have, which is fantastic, you understand edges. And you have that natural inclination, which is good and which is a real strength in your work. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we could use our freehand shield. I love freehand shields, as you guys know. So this is my favorite freehand shield in the world. See, I have the the mommy and then the baby. Look at that. It's the exact replica of this one, but little. So I'm using this one for the smaller paintings like this all the time. Oh, my pleasure, Heath, definitely. Phil, how you doing? Philip M, how's it going? So let's see, did I miss a comment that Phil said? I'm going to scroll up. I don't want to miss a comment. I don't see Phil's comment. So what did Phil say? Oh yes, I did work on the yeah, otherwise this would be like Terror Part 12. Hey Phil M, how you doing? How's it going? Yes, I did work on the shirt a little bit, Wendy. I do apologize. I had to speed along somewhat. I have something very special planned for you guys. Glad to have you aboard there, Phil. Thanks so much for stopping by. We meet here every Wednesday night, so always welcome. Always, you know, you can hang out in the background. You're welcome to comment, talk about art, talk about anything. Just, you know, anything pretty much goes here. It's structured, but not too structured not to have fun. Right, guys? That's for sure. I think one time we were talking about snow in Canada, right? And, you know, you name, see, here is what's really great, guys, is that, you know, we have the ability to erase, much like Drew Blair's illustration colors. And I'll show you some really nice case in points. You can do some negative spaces in the hair here. And you see that it just sort of very easily you're able to erase, you know. So yes, it is a very fun group. We were talking about DNA at one time. Yes, I remember the DNA discussion. That's for sure. That was funny. And informative, right? And informative. So any of you guys working on some large projects or anything like that? So Philip says, hello Kiva. Also Kiva recommended. Oh, great. Oh, thank you so much, Kiva, for telling Philip. Glad to have you aboard. You just started painting with ink. Having a little trouble learning, no problem. Yes, so my preferred medium by far, Philip, is definitely what I'm working on now and what I'm establishing with this channel, which is working with Airbrush and India Ink. And not just any India ink, but the Higgins waterproof India ink, which is really fantastic. With this, it's basically not acrylic. It's made with like carbon and soot, and it's sort of suspended in water with just a little bit of binder. And so with that, it erases really well. And you can see that. Oh, you're having trouble erasing. Oh, okay, no problem. It's definitely the paper and also the type of India ink you're using. Now, I'm not getting any kind of love from this company, but I really care about you guys. And so this is I'm not sponsored by any way with this. It's by De La Rowney. It's called Cardstock. And Canford cardstock. You can get it at Dick Blick, and it sells for about $8 for 10 sheets. They have larger sizes, but I like working this in this 8.5 by 11, which is really good. It really works perfect with this technique. I found that out through accident. I use this paper to draw with pencil and white pastel. And so one time I was like, well, why don't I just use the darks? Because I couldn't get the darks with the graphite. So I started gradually incorporating airbrush and then just went straight into airbrush. And I'll tell you that with the India ink and this paper, you're going to do great. And pH Martins is fantastic. Keep them, keep using them. I use their white and their colored inks, which are great. So definitely on the right path. So Kiva says that Phil's an amazing artist. I'm going to definitely have to check out his work on Facebook. And you went to Drew Blair's class together. Oh, so cool. So definitely have all that knowledge from Mr. Drew Blair, the master himself. So always admire that. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing your work now, Phil. Bernadette, how are you? This is the first time I see you. How often, Bernadette, I just want to say thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with us. I really appreciate it. And so that is cool. So Bernadette says, how often do I use acrylics? Love doing portraits, but I have a hard time painting realistic clothing. It usually comes out looking blurred and out of place. Do I have any tips? I'll have some tips, and also you guys, I want you to throw some tips out there. We got some amazing painters out there who could give you some great tips. I'm going to just start with mine. Is with clothes, just simplify into its largest shapes first. As in you're doing a portrait, just worry about the large shapes, squint your eyes, where the folds are, where the lights are. Hit those big shapes first, and then go into the smaller shapes. But as you're doing that, make sure you are concentrating on edges. Some edges are hard, as you see here. Some edges are soft, as you see there. That's where you're going to get that dynamic realism. That's where your work's going to have life. So think about edges, okay? I hope that helps. Wendy says, make them all nude. That is actually a very good tip. That's the tip of the day. That is very funny. That is very funny. And, that's probably why a lot of artists paint nudes. If I can, I would paint a nude all the time because, of course, the human body is timeless. When we paint clothes, we have the concerns of fashion. If someone was wearing a members only jacket in our portrait that we did in 1985, it definitely would scream 1985. But if it was a nude, except for the hairstyle, we wouldn't be able to tell, right? So Kiva says, show that man portrait. Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. So let me pull out the commission piece I did. So that's what I've been working on the last couple of days. The same thing, Bernadette, is as we are working with anything, whether it's clothes or without clothes, is the edges, See how it's hard here and then just softens up here. See how there's a hard edge where the shadow is buttressed up against the light of the abdomen. So one abdomen muscle goes down and away from the light, and then the other one is pulling out from the light. And where those two things, like tectonic plates, there's going to be hard edges. Where things sort of gradually move out of the light, that's when the soft edges happen. So edges are really important. I did a video. If you look at my videos on my YouTube channel, one of my favorite videos I ever did was on edges and how important it is. So that's going to really help you with your fabric. Okay, that's it for him. Thanks, Bernadette. I appreciate it. You guys are funny. Hey, we got to keep the ladies happy here, right? Or the men, whoever enjoys that, So we try to cater to everybody, right? That's what we do. So right here, you'll see. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you some of the beauty of erasing. Now, Phil, you're going to like this part, okay? So let's go ahead, and this is why I paid all this money for this DSLR and this software to use my DSLR. See this right here? Now, this is the beauty of this technique, is that we could use at the very, I mean, I painted this hair a long time ago. It's not like I have to, you know, I have to get it before it sets. This is just from a long time ago. And you see, I can do that. I mean, let's lighten it up a little bit. That's a beautiful thing. And let's see here. So we can do things like that, then come in with our rigger brush. Remember, you don't want a fish jumping from lily pad to lily pad. You want a frog to do it. So you don't want the airbrush doing what this can do best. So, you know, there's no points on, you know, there's no like honor points for doing everything in airbrush, right? Whatever works, whatever gets the job done easiest, that's what you want to do. So we can get that beautiful, beautiful hairs that we couldn't get otherwise using this paper. So it's all about the paper and the Higgins Waterproof India Ink Airbrush. Oh, the cookie metaphor. Well, everyone knows my cookie metaphor is that you never eat a cookie before it's done cooking, right? You know, you put it at 350 for what? You know, 18 minutes, whatever. Well, that might come in, they might look like hockey pucks at that point. I'm not sure about the ratio, but you don't eat the cookie before it's cooked. So you stay with the program, and then you'll be able to get with that. Stay with the program that you are initially going into, whatever technique you're going into, right? So that's important. So yes. And so Kiva, one time you IM'd me, and you were having trouble with a different kind of India ink, wasn't it? It wasn't India ink. It was the Black Magic, was it, by Higgins? So all Higgins inks are not created equal. So I think that's what happened. Believe me, I went through that as well, Kiva. I went through a lot of inks before I actually stuck with this one. And I've been working with India inks for a long time. This was a natural progression for me. I was doing India inks as underpaintings for my pastel paintings, and through doing those paintings, those underpaintings, I really got accustomed to what ink works and which one doesn't. That happens. They look the same, right? You can't tell the difference between one Higgins India ink and the other. They just really look hard. Oh, you know, my compressor hasn't gone off at all. Is the sound a little weird, guys? Let me know. Because maybe I didn't even hear. Did the compressor go off? Let me see. Are we getting any kind of, you know what I'm thinking? Okay, this might. So did that fix it? I think, oh, okay, so the compressor went off a while ago. Okay, now I did have my YouTube channel, my YouTube page on in the background. Did it cause any kind of echoing or anything like that? I hope not. Yeah, I told a friend today, it's like, with my YouTube channel, I'm talent, the writer, director, technical support. I'm everything. You know, so I really need you guys to always let me know, and I appreciate it. So Philip says that he's using Doc Martens ink, and I love Doc Martens ink. And but as far as your black, definitely go with Higgins. But this is a very close second. Their black is good, but it doesn't erase as well as the Higgins because of whatever they're using as the binder is inhibiting that. But I'll show you some experience I have with Higgins. I mean, this is what I've been working on. As you guys know, I'm doing this color of Gal Gadot, and there we go. So you see, now this was over an India Ink painting, a black and white, but much lighter in value, because when you add color, you're going to darken it. So you want to stay on the light side. So this is with the Bombay, which I really enjoy over the Higgins. So it's still in its early stages. It's, getting richer. Just as this here, with the color, you're working in layers. You're darkening it. You're making it more and more intense. Working from dark to light. And that's the whole thing about this technique. And even for Bernadette, with the clothes that you're painting, work from not dark to light, from light to dark. I can't stress it enough. Working from light to dark is everything. Really is. So we are here for an hour already. Time goes by so quick, guys, right? It really does. So thank you so much. You know what? I'm going to shut my closet door. That might help out with the noise on my compressor. So as you know, like part 4 or at the end of part 4 or part 5, depending, at the end is less airbrushing and more paintbrush and white pastel. So what I'm going to do is look for a pencil sharpener. I think I can get away without it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my stump, which is dedicated to white. You never want to go ahead and pull out a stump that you use for graphite and say, oh, it's going to look horrible. So even if you have to use a new stump, they cost next to nothing. Whenever you guys are at an art store, buy stumps. Get as many stumps as you can. You're going to need them. You have a student or you're showing somebody something. Everybody, you can never have enough stumps. So we're coming in with white, and I'm going to start with this eye here. And then we are going to go ahead and just bring her to life, hopefully. That's the plan. There we go. And let's go ahead and just magnify it for you so you guys can see a little better. Just do a little magnification here. And what that does is we're starting to bring things a little more into its full dynamic range. That means right now things were pretty much in those middle tones. Now we're starting to bring in those lights, and then we're going to hit it with those dark accents. And what's really crucial is that reading in between the lines, right? The same thing. When you're putting in these whites, you got to make sure that you leave spaces in between. Organic spaces, not like equidistant spaces. It looked like she has like a honeycomb or something like that. But you see how we just have those dynamic. You're using the white pastel and you're sort of kissing the surface here. You're letting things happen organically, just as what happens in skin, things happen organically. And then I can come in with some darks and really bring things together. But this is what I mean by sticking with the program, guys, is that these beautiful things happen as long as we do the other things correct, you know? And stick with the program. Don't get emotional about whether it's looking like her or not. That's not as important as creating a good piece. So Wendy says she really likes the fabric pen. It's great, but Amazon keeps going up on the price. I know, because I think this is a best kept secret that's starting to come out and get out there, you know. So that is true. This is amazing, but it does not erase very well. So that's my caveat with that particular pencil, guys. So definitely be careful. They are great for those solid highlights, yes, and also knowing that this is what you're going to put down. And Super Killer says, don't say stump around a pirate. Arr. That's really funny. No angry pirates, that's for sure. So that's pretty funny, guys. A great sense of humor. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pull out, and I'll show you how things are sort of looking. Same thing here. We're going to do the same thing. Let me go ahead and do a little magnification for you guys. So right here, we're just going to, we set this up. This was what it's all being set up for. And that's what's important, that it's set up, you know, that you're bringing it together. And you see that? And now what we're going to do is we can take our kneaded eraser here and we can vary that. So, you know, it's sort of like, it's not like a piece of white sticky is on her. Highlights are built up and they definitely sort of fade for the most part. In the eye here, they're really strong hard edges, but you see the edges that are here are pretty soft, so we want to make sure that we translate that into our painting or drawing. Same goes for when we're doing drawings and paintings. No matter what it is, you want to set up those highlights. And you know, and you can see that you can just let it happen. Notice how I hold the brush here, the pencil. I don't hold it like this, you know. I want to just have it move around. The pastel just sort of kiss the surface here and there. And when you do that, you have variation, much like the texture of skin. But we're getting the texture of skin not by any trickery. We're getting the texture of skin by really paying attention to the subtle changes of the light as it's hitting that skin. So Kiva says, yes, she has one. If she doesn't have one, get one. Yeah, everyone loves that. Let's see. Bradley says he needs to get one as well. So yeah, definitely. It's really great. I'm going to try and sell it on my... I'm going to get a store pretty soon. I'm going to try and get a whole bunch of them and see if I can sell them at a really good price for you guys. So that's down the line. That's my 2019 plans. Might happen in 2018, but you know, seems like the end of this year is really traveling fast. I'm having a hard time keeping up. So as you can see, we're using this white pastel. Now, why are we using white pastel instead of acrylic? Instead of the white paint? Because at this stage and with this particular painting, it works best. and we're working on paper, so you know, utilize the advantage of working on paper as opposed to working on board. On a board. I mean, yes, the working on board has its advantages, but look at the advantages you have. So definitely work to the advantage of whatever you're using, whether it's illustration board, masonite canvas, in this case paper. So definitely stick with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and magnify out here. So as you can see, we're really getting into a really good place with this painting. Especially on the lips, it's sort of a speckling of light as it hits the lips when you know our lips are wet, and a lot of times they are. And you know, so really try not to do what you are thinking of, which is going straight in with the pastel pencil. You want to continue to kiss the surface. There's a line in the movie, Jackson, have you guys seen the movie Pollock with Ed Harris? I just purchased it not too long ago. I mean, I always had the DVD, but I purchased it on Amazon Prime, so I have it, the video all the time. Yes, this is cardstock. This is not just any cardstock. They're not all created equal. So here is the Canford cardstock by De La Rowney, gunmetal. We're using not gunmetal, we're using the other color, which is Dreadnought. So this was the original color of what we were working on. So both have their advantages and disadvantages, but I use both of those colors. Yes, exactly, Wendy. Thank you so much for writing that down for me. De La Rowney, cardstock, Dreadnought. So we're just going to go ahead and just kiss the surface here and just take our time. And like I said, always not worrying what it looks like as far as the likeness. Just stick with the program and it'll come together. So there's two ways to lighten up or darken some white once you put it on there. One way is to go ahead and rub it in, and as you rub in, it gets rubbed into the paper and it gets darker. But in this case, since we don't want to lose some of those nice speckling of light, we can take our Kneaded Eraser and we can just tap. And as we tap, some of it comes off, but not all of it. And that's how we control the amount of white that we keep on the surface. See, because I was a little strong. And same thing here. Okay, so now we have some really nice speckling of light over here. So let's go ahead and hit on that. So Heat says, got to get some of that. Looks great. I don't mind repeating, guys. So you have any questions, you know, I'll say it 100 times. It doesn't matter. I want you guys to really enjoy this paper or any of the products that I use. Dick Blick has it, and they have it available, and that is dickblick.com. It's about $8, right, Wendy, more or less, for a pack of 10. They sell it at art stores, but, you know, I hate buying paper at an art store. You know, you get like one sheet of paper and always the person like creases it or whatever, no matter how. Please be careful with it, I say, and I don't want to sound cranky, but that's what always happens. It's pretty funny. So I like ordering and getting like a brick of the paper, which is really good. Oh, Wendy said, oh, Wendy is checking out the price for you right now. I appreciate that. That's fantastic. once you use this paper, you're just not going to go back, Heath. With this ink, or even just working in pencil, it's just really great. And I found this over the years. And I used to work at Amazon.com. I did customer service for them. And yes, Heath, Wendy does rock. I used to do customer service for them, and I had to travel a good hour and a half each way. And I took trains, so I would actually have this little carrying case where I would do these drawings in graphite with this paper with the white pastel. And that's pretty much where this technique was born from. So that's where I learned about the cardstock, and then serendipitously it worked perfectly with Airbrush. $13.82 for 30 sheets. Wow, that's a good deal. And that's for 8.5 by 11, Wendy? They did not offer that before. That's actually a much better value. Actually, I'm going to jump on that tonight, because I go through 30 sheets rather quickly. The 10 sheets is ridiculous. I'm always having to reorder. So as you can see, I'm just building up these lights here, keeping the spaces in between. That's the texture we're looking for. Okay, so you see how we are sort of bringing that together with the texture, and then we can take our Kneaded Eraser, which is really important. Willie says everyone should check them out on my website. Oh, you mean those drawings? Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys, and I appreciate that, Willie. Thank you so much. Those train girls that I did. If you go to paintingglyphs.com and then go to the drawing section, you'll see all those train girls I did on the train. They were a lot of fun, and so thank you. And let me know what you think when you guys see them. So as you can see, we're turning the forms here. And things are really starting to come together. When we put in these lights, you can see how these midtones really come alive. And that's what it's all about. It's like when we put the highlights and the dark accents, everything sort of like pops. And that's the intent. And also, continue looking around, and you put in that light, the light might be a little strong. Anyone deal, Super Killer says, anyone deal with back muscle pain while doing your art? In the lower back, Super Killer, is that where it's hurting you? Because I do have something that I did if it's lower back, but let me know where it hurts. But $8.69 for 10 sheets, but oh, the dirty sheets is for an A4 pad, has different colors. Oh, okay. That's all right, no problem. I got me excited there for Wendy for a second. I was like, I'm jumping on it. That would be great, though. Thank you, Wendy. So $8.69 for 10 sheets. That's what I've been paying for the longest. So it's not a bad price. It is what it is, right? But definitely jump on it. We're going to go back in here and really get in there and put some of those darks in there in her lips there, and also darken this part of her lips. As we see, we can go ahead and do that. But remember, we can always darken with the Kneaded Eraser if the lights get too ardent. So what I'm going to do is just sort of go with Now I don't always do it, but go with the flow of her skin here, of what it's doing. Her cheek sort of going up at maybe like a 60-degree angle, I think. And then we can go ahead and fix that in a little bit. And then here, remember, light always travels in straight lines, always straight lines. So how it's reacting to a cheek is how it's reacting to a nose, how the lips, all the objects on her head is being affected the same way. Of course, you have the larger shape, which is the head, and then you have the smaller shapes, which is the features on the head. Sort of stacked form, that is called. Mid-back muscle, limit how long I could airbrush. Okay, the mid-back muscle, that's rough, you know, because are you doing a lot of walking, like as exercise? Because I used to have really bad back pains. I always used to use that muscle cream. It was really bad, and I wasn't walking. And since then, I pretty much try and walk every day. And if I can't walk, I go on the treadmill, and those pains have gone away. So I definitely feel your pain, you know, literally, I did. So give that a shot. And Wendy says you definitely use different muscles when airbrushing. That is totally correct, totally. And I agree. And your hand muscles really, you know, you really become, you know, great dexterity with the muscles of the hand-eye coordination. And I think that's why a lot of people who could draw really well become very good airbrush artists, because of that hand-eye coordination that you're using. There is a little bit of a disconnect because you have pencil, surface. Here you have hand, hose, airbrush, surface. So it's a little more between you and the work, but I think it's, you know, takes a little while longer. But I think airbrushing is just a learning curve. The more you do it, the better you get, and you'll master it, you know? So that is definitely the case. Wendy says if you can do the $35, it's most of the time cheaper than Amazon, but on some things it isn't true. We'll just add stuff to my cart, and when you get the $35 time, oh, that's what Wendy says. So when she gets the $35, that's when she pulls the trigger. So that's pretty smart, that's for sure. So yeah, because if it's less, then you pay all that money for shipping, right? But when I was broke a month ago, I just bought a pack of the Dreadnought because I was so broke. And, you know, I paid for shipping. So I said, well, you know, if I would have went to the art store, it's probably what I would have paid for gas. But that's only in dire emergencies, you know? So now I have a little job, and that little job is really good to get me paper, which is fantastic. So as you can see, she's starting to come together, guys. You know, the white pastel, the introduction of the white pastel is really doing wonders because it's all been set up. This is the culmination. And you know, you guys who've been with me, of course, you know, same thing with Audrey Plaza and Natalie Wood. And it just all happens at the end, you know? And that's when, you know, beautiful things happen. It's set up for beautiful things. That's beautiful too, but this is the sort of the icing on the cake. Now, I don't recommend going in with the fabric pen as I am now. I'm just really sure where I want to put these lights. I would definitely go with the pastel pencil because you have no wiggle room for mistakes here with this. There's very little erasing you can do with this. But I am liking it. Now we can go back with our pastel pencil and let's hit this light I've been looking at. This beautiful sort of explosion of light on her neck. See, I wanted to do that the whole time. I just love that. Yes, will work for paper. Been that broke, but I love it, so I will definitely sacrifice for my art. Remember, before, what do you guys think of this phrase? Before art succeeds, it must first suffer. You guys agree with that? That art should suffer before it succeeds? So I think it, in a lot of cases, it has to suffer. I think if it doesn't suffer, it loses some of its vibrancy. I think it's part of it. I think as artists, you know, we didn't go into, right guys? We didn't go into this thinking it was going to be a bed of roses. I mean, working and painting, that's the bed of roses. That's the payoff. But yeah. And Superkiller says he suffers, that's for sure. Not only with his back pain, but also the sacrifices you make for you know, going with this decision of being an artist. I could have done anything. I'm sure you guys could have done anything with your lives, and you know, you decided on this, and you know, you got to go into it, you know, for better or for worse. You know, this is what you're doing, and you're going to go into it regardless. Just like this channel, you know, this channel gets 1,800 subscribers, or this channel gets 180,000 subscribers. I'm still going to be here, and I'm still going to be giving 100% and pushing myself, and wanting to create great things with this live stream, and wanting to inspire people. You know, it's just a great way to learn airbrush, right? I mean, honestly, you don't have to worry about color. You don't have to worry about those things. You can just really learn the inner workings of the airbrush. Learn about things such as edges and light and shade, all those different things, without worrying about chroma and saturation, stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hit some of those really light lights here on this edge. Now what we are seeing here is a little bit of a blue shift, and that happens. And I might just abandon that idea because blue shift is a real issue. We'll keep that there for a while. It's good that we see the blue shift phenomenon. Jake always says, you know, he doesn't see the blue shift too much, but this is a case in point. So I'm definitely going to decide what to do with that. So so Willie says, thanks Tim, when I first started in airbrush, no one would share any information. Well, you hit a gold mine, because I'm going to tell you everything. Everything I know. And stuff that other people have told me and said, this is what it is, I'm going to tell you. So I'm not going to hold anything out, you know. So so definitely you come to the right place. Kiva says, love creating from a hot mess, just wish materials were free, right? That's so definitely creating, you know, is the beauty of it, right? It's why we do it. So I'm getting rid of that because we had a wicked blue shift, and I don't like it. So that's something we might plan for if we want to get that beautiful white in the future. But right now, we are going to abandon that. And we can just go ahead and erase it, right? And no fear, so we're going to go back in with our Sotar. And we're just going to darken that. And you see, we could just go ahead and revisit that. And we're going to go ahead and probably do it with the eraser as we did up here. We're just not going to be able to get that really bright highlight I wanted to put in. But that's okay, because this is a learning experience. So you learn when you go too dark, you cannot put pastel over it. Even if you went in with this, oh my God, you would have such a disaster, you would cry. I cried thinking about it. So Wendy says 100 million could purchase art lessons and supplies. Then you can start all over. Yeah, that's for sure. But remember, more money is made from the artist than artists making money. And one of the things for 2018, and I talked about it before, we're going to talk about how you guys can make money. So I want you to pay for the beautiful art supplies that you are going to buy. I want your airbrush to pay for itself. So I'm going to do some stuff like that I'm definitely going to share with you guys. Some of the dark arts, you know, of painting and drawing is how to make money. They don't teach you that in art school. Why? Because you know what? They don't want you to know. They want you to continue being the person who only spends money. Art supply companies, they want you to continue buying new products. They don't want you to start making money. So, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to now, as far as my job, I make almost as much money from my artwork. So, and it's not difficult. It's sort of learning how the art market works, learning how to, what is a sweet spot that most people, the masses, would pay for. You know, you see these guys and like, oh, they're selling their painting for like $17,000. You know what? They're not selling their paintings that often for $17,000. But you could actually sort of win a battle with a lot of small little hits than one big hit, you know? So, you know, if an analogy, if you're boxing, sometimes you want to do a lot of, you know, jabs to get your point across. And the same thing with your art. You might sell a lot of small pieces that you do quickly for a small amount of money that adds up to one big painting. And if you do that with more frequency, then you're making more money than the guy who's selling his painting or the woman who's selling their painting for $17,000. You know what I mean? So that's what I really want to stress. And I'm going to teach you guys about how to use the internet and do some marketing, market research. What's selling? What's out there? And where does your work fit? Can you do stuff that caters to a certain audience? So that's some things I want to definitely touch on in 2019. I'm going to do some videos on it and not hold back, you know, do some really cool things. So we are really getting into some really good things here with Tara, and I think we are, every time I say I'm done, I find something new at the art store or buying online. That's so true. That is so true, Super Killer. Now I'm not going to get to the finish. This is going to be the final part of Tara, and then we're going to start something new next week. But you can see we are just getting to the end here of, you know, where we wanted to just share, you know, the techniques of this, and you know, how you can use eraser techniques and stuff like that. We have some beautiful highlights here. Just a little bit on her necklace there. This is fun, this part, because we have some nice hairs going around. Just some variation. These are abstract shapes. I was talking about Jackson Pollock earlier, and you know, you definitely want to learn from Jackson Pollock. You want to learn from Mark Rothko. You know, you definitely want to learn from the abstract painters. They have something to teach us as realistic artists. Philip says that sounds that sounds fantastic. Exactly what he wants to do is make money with my art. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to you here and talking to you in the future, Philip. I'm so glad you're here. And yeah, we're going to touch on some really great things like that. And always, you know, I'm going to do some videos, but you guys are going to get the information, a lot more information and first. So that's good. So feel good. You guys get priority. So we just have some hairs here, which I think works really well. So just this blast of light here on her collar. I think that looks really nice. And then I'm going to go in with our mono eraser. Start doing some of these abstract shapes where the hair is not in between, so the hair is not covering. So when Kiva says she can't wait, that's cool. And then Wendy's talking about art supply rehab. Yeah, that's for sure. And you know what? When we start making money, maybe you know, maybe we can start making our art supplies. You know, maybe getting some deals from suppliers and stuff like that. You know, maybe to endorse some of your work. That's something that you can do as well. So I'm actually really getting happy with Tara. Tara was a rough one. Don't get me wrong. This was a rough painting. Some of them are rough, right? Like kids, right? Some kids are easygoing, just a breeze, and some kids will just, you know, they're just going to be a challenge the whole way. And this Tara one was a challenge for me, guys. But like I said, I didn't get emotional. I stuck with the program, and I kept going. And I'm not done with this. I'm going to work with this during the week, and I'm going to post it on Ink Flingers, and so I'm going to share with you how she has finished up. But I'm actually really happy that, you know, just to illustrate that if we stick with the program, it's going to come out. It might not be the best thing that we did, might not be the best thing that I did, but you know what? I stuck with it. And so any more thoughts on the paint along? You mentioned it, yes, and how I'm going to do this, Kiva, is I'm actually going to do it once I get my store up, and there you can purchase a piece of paper that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send out to you that will already be like a very rough projection, and you guys can go ahead and draw, you know, make your own changes. So it will be your drawing, and then I'll even, for, you know, if you want, you know, if you need it, I'll send these little vials. I want to show you this. So this right here is really cool. So look at this. So I am thinking of that. So these are going to be, this is 1 ounce. So this is actually a ½ ounce, but it's a lot. So what I'm thinking of doing is selling a set of these with the ink in the mixtures. So we might do that, or we might go, and then what's really cool is you have a 3-inch eyedropper right in it. So, but this would only be for the eye drops. So we would do this for the eye drops, and that would be either just straight India ink, or if you want, you can order some of my ratios pre-mixed. So that's something to think about. So let's see. So Bradley says, amen on the kids thing, right? That's what I'm saying, right? The kids, some kids, it's just, you know, we love them all, but just like a painting, some are easy and some are difficult. That's for sure. Kiva says, you almost broke your airbrush? Oh no, let's see. So Kiva said, Kiva broke, oh, 615 Graphics said that Kiva broke their airbrush, and Kiva just got called out. How do you respond to the allegations, Kiva? Kiva says, not guilty. Hey, 615 Graphics, great. Bill Kennedy, I know Bill. How are you, man? It's good to see you. So glad to have you aboard, my friend. So Kiva pretty much, she went postal on your airbrush. Is that the case? So you see, guys, I went ahead and I darkened that because the white pastel just wasn't flying over that black. So that's something we learned today. So I'm going to go back in with my mono eraser. We're going to go with the chisel, and we're going to just go ahead and pull out some of those lights here. And then after we pull out the lights, we'll get the Blackbeard weed out, and we'll go ahead and get some hair texture here and there. So you see, at first we were like, yeah, white pastel on the hair, and then since the hair was black, no white pastel on the hair. So we definitely know that in the future, let's not even make that mistake, right guys? So Kiva says that Bill is telling stories. So you have that on video, that would go viral, of Kiva destroying poor Bill's airbrush. And that's too funny. Oh man. So Kiva, you're not gonna attack my Sotar Slim, are you? I hope not. Too funny. You guys are hilarious. It's good to laugh, right guys? That's for sure. Definitely good to laugh. Okay, so what I did was I went ahead and just started some lights. So let's get our friend Mr. Blackbeard Wheat here. And what we want to do is we want to vary. And you see that we can just get some really beautiful technique here. Beautiful variation. Blackbeard wheat is available at most of your hobby stores, and you know where you can buy like fake flowers, you know, where people will do those you know, those arrangements, and that's where you would get the Blackbeard wheat. And I know Wendy found it online, right? For some reason that Blackbeard wheat reminds me of some sort of bug. Well, yeah, the way it sounds, right? Listen to this. Like ASMR. Have you guys heard of ASMR? That was really freaky. So who has heard of ASMR out there? That is pretty scary stuff. It's a phenomenon. And if no one knows what ASMR is, I'm going to talk about it. Since I'm a real YouTube fanatic, I only have YouTube channel, but I also watch YouTube more than I do regular TV. So, Wendy, you know what ASMR is, right? She accidentally found it on a Netflix video, so it actually made it to Netflix. So guys, ASMR is actually, I forget what it means, something to do with sensory, where people will take a nice microphone, like this one here, look at this small, see this microphone I have? It's a Yeti by Blue, and it's a really good microphone. and it's pretty pro, and that's what I use for, you know, my live streams here. But people are using them to do all these different sounds, like the way a pencil goes over, makes on a piece of paper, or, you know, all these like really tactile sounds, and they do it to, like, I don't know, people love it. People are getting, like, you know, 13 million subscribers. It's really crazy. Yeah, like tingles in the neck. So just really wild. Just a phenomenon. And you know what? There's a need for it, right? People love it. So, but really weird. Something like that. I never seen that one coming. So Tim says, I promise not to whisper. They do a lot of whispering too. Uh, yeah, that's so funny, you know. That's the, it just, but it's amazing. It's amazing. You don't know what the next big thing is going to be. Now, if you told me like 5 years ago that people are going to make a sizable living whispering and making noise with their fingernails on plastic like that, and people are going to love it, I would never have thought, right? So really, really wild. So as you can see, we are, you know, working on that hair. Let's put a little more Blackbeard wheat here. Just vary that one shape here. We don't want that big shape. We have hair here, so we want it. We definitely want to create the illusion of hair. And we can never get these organic shapes that we get with this, so I have no problem doing that. But I love this Blackbeard wheat. I really recommend you guys going out there and getting some when you can. If you're having trouble, I might be able to help you find it. I know Wendy's really good at finding it, so you know, shoot Wendy an email. She definitely would help you out with that. So as you can see now, we have some really nice, and we're getting close to 11:30. So what that means is we're going to get our 24:9 ratio. Let me blow out the rest that's in this 18 to 9 ratio. So let me blow this out. Okay, so we have that blown out. I'm going to take my 24 to 9 ratio here. It's 24 drops of India ink to 9 full eyedroppers of the 3-inch eyedropper of water. I'm going to put no more than 2 drops, remember. Any more, then we have a danger of having a disaster in spilling on your artwork. And in part 4, the end of part 4, that would definitely make me cry. And okay, so we have a nice dark now. So we're going to do some real nice dark accents. And our dark accents are really going to sort of also bring these midtones to life, and the highlights are really going to vibrate from it. So it's really going to come together. And let's not forget our really good freehand shield. I love this freehand shield. Some amazing person made it for me, and I use it all the time. I think, you know, sometimes when we have something as a gift, it's just that much more special. And $5.99 for a bunch of the Blackbeard wheat. How great! That is fantastic. And what makes Blackbeard wheat great is that it's natural and organic, meaning that you're going to have organic shapes. So we are going back with our airbrush and pulling out some of these really nice dark accents. Now remember, when we are dark like this, we don't have any wiggle room. So we're just going to do dark accents. Never go too dark in your midtones. If you are, you're just going to pay the price. So you want to always go light in your midtones and then build up those lights. But when you're doing this dark mixture of 24 to 9, you really have to limit where you brush. If you went in here, you're going to go too far and it's really going to be not good for your work. So definitely. So what? Oh, Blackbeard wheat. I guess that would be interesting. I guess it's not. I never had Blackbeard wheat sandwich or something like that. Blackbeard wheat bread. So it must be a purely decorative wheat, right, guys? I gotta look into that. The story behind Blackbeard wheat. So here I am with the black dark accents, just pulling her forward here. And I can do some nice hairs with this Sotar. We can get some real nice subtle hairs here and there. And you know, it's looking like Tara, Alana Masterson. And I would love if she's seen this. So if any of you guys have friends of friends who know Tara Masterson, I would appreciate it if you could give a shout out. You never know. 5 degrees of separation, right, guys? Right here. We'll sort of calm down this side here. I think I went a little overzealous with this area here. I can calm that down. Looking for the larger shapes of her hair. Remember, the hair is affected just as this nose and this lip as the hair is affected by the light. So you definitely want that to be an object affected by the light first. It's 6 degrees. Oh, 6 degrees. Oh man, that's an extra degree. Oh boy, that's pretty funny. So 6 degrees. Okay, I'll live with that. So if we remember in the very beginning, we went ahead and did, we maxed her off and did some different colored inks in the background because she is from The Walking Dead. She's in the character of Tara. So I just wanted to make it a little scary background there. So that's why I went with that. Let's get our Blackbeard wheat here. Oh, thank you. Wendy says it looks awesome. I appreciate it. So I hope we all learned a lot from part 4, and I hope so. We did a lot. We touched on a lot of different techniques, and we went over a lot of different stages, and we stayed with the program. And when we stay with the program, nice things happen. So I feel good about that. And, Super Killer says, how flexible are the black hairs on that wheat? Really flexible. Some people actually go ahead and put tape on it. So, you know, you can do stuff like this. And if you have a friend, you know, you can have them hold that down and you could, you know, do stuff like that. So, like case in point, like right here, I'll just do something and see if this works. It's a lot easier if you're not working on a horizontal. If you're working vertical, it's a lot easier. So I'm just going to hold it down here. And nope, it really isn't. You need someone else to help you with the turn. It just isn't practical. And when you're working on a vertical, it's a lot easier to do that. But they are flexible. It's just how can you get your your hands to do it is the question. But what you can do is you can drag it as you would a freehand shield, and you still can get those curves. So, you know, there's the will is a way, right? So that's basically it. So, all right, so I'm gonna finish her off, finish the painting, I should say. I'm gonna finish the painting during the week, and I really appreciate everyone. This was such a live streams are always fun with you guys, but this one was really vibrant. It was really fantastic. 615 Graphic says that he stayed with Airbrush and played at acrylics. Nah, you're great there, Mr. Kennedy. You keep going. You're doing fantastic. So I am going to use the force. Guys, this has been fantastic. You guys are great. So Ink Flingers on Facebook. And I'm going to email you. I'm going to call it a day. I hope you guys have a great week. God bless you. I love yous. Take care, guys.